Hello everyone. Thank you for joining me. Really do appreciate it. I just want to say before I continue, thank you so much for the warm wishes that I got when I couldn't go up last live that I did. My voice wasn't having it. It was just playing up. I do have issues with my voice from time to time. I do try my best to make sure that I do look after it so that when I'm doing something like this, then I am prepared that I will not talk to anyone, including my cat. But yeah, so thank you very much for your well wishes. And yeah, my voice feels okay today. And thank you for joining me, Dee and Jackie S. Had to miss you this morning, said Jackie from Canada. Oh, no problem, Jackie, but thank you for letting me know. I really appreciate that. I really do. Thank you. And oh, right, double D. Hi, Colleen. Hi, everyone. Let me just put hi to everyone in the chat. There we go. Okay. Let me just. Can I just spend a moment just showing off what I've got on here? Oh, these sleeves. This is a project I did about 3 or 4 videos ago in my on my YouTube channel, and it is gorgeous. I'm just loving these sleeves. And this rosette here, I didn't have time to do this as part of the tutorial that I did. So this is actually the scraps. So I used everything with this top. It had a red embroidery. That was part of the original top, which is on another project that I use, and I used everything. So I'm really excited when I know I can use something, the whole garment, the whole item. It just, it's really challenging, but I love doing it. So this was it. So I made myself a little rosette. I think I said that in the video that I was going to do that. So yeah, I managed to do that. So I'm so happy. And these sleeves are amazing. I will be doing this again for sure. So I just needed to just show off there. Hello, Tasmin. How are you? Hope you're well. So I wanted to talk to you today about fashion trends and how it impacts us in society, and whether or not we are following the fashion trends, and if you do think the fashion trends do have an impact on your life. Because I tell myself, no, it doesn't. It doesn't. I don't follow trends. Have I ever followed trends? Maybe when I was younger, because you're part of a group of friends and you tend to follow what trends are about, and then you're probably influenced by your parents. But not too much though, because my mum made a lot of our clothes, so and she wasn't a great follower of what was trendy back then. And as young children, there wasn't really a trend for younger generation of children. But now in 2021 and the past 5 years or so, maybe even longer, there hasn't really been a trend. And if I'm wrong, can you please put that in the chat and let me know if you think there has been a dominant trend that most of society throughout the world, I would say, maybe more so in the Western world, who have followed a trend that is set by fashion designers. Because if you realize that fashion designers do not seem to have a style of garment as a trend, but they have something else as a trend that really we are not perhaps not realizing that it is a trend for fashion design companies to lead us into buying their products. So it'll be interesting to know if you are keyed into that. And if you are, please let me know in the comments as well. And also, if you are a stickler. Really, Colleen? This is my Mancunian accent. If you are, I'm going to change that word because I can't really say it now. If you are a person that has to follow trends, because you may find that your own trend is a trend. And for me in particular, I think I followed that from my middle sister, who has always had her own trend. My younger sister and I won't say we follow trends. I think our family members and friends will say that we are a bit trendier and we seem to be on key to fashion. But my middle sister, if she's on there, she's going to kill me. She has her own trend, and she always had her own trend. And the way you can tell she's always had her own trend is that she'll tell you whatever she's wearing, doesn't this look amazing? Doesn't it fit my body shape? And in a way, it does. From my point of view, when I see it and I'm thinking of her aesthetically, it doesn't, because she doesn't quite get the proportions right on her body shape. But it is a trend. It's her trend. It's her personality. And I think that's what fashion seems to forget, that personality is a trend, and you can wear absolutely anything you want and you will find that it is your trend. And if it becomes trendy to be that way, and you probably find one or two members of your family or friends following whatever it is you're wearing, and it can be, then the fashion industry picks up on that. So there's this theory called trickle up and trickle down theory. So what happens, and this has always happened, is that the fashion industry will go out and send people out to see what people are wearing in the streets and get a general vibe of what's happening. And you are the person, us, you and I, everybody, are setting that trend. But we don't realize that we are. So once they see something that's very popular, particularly with the young, they take it on board and sell it back to us. It's quite interesting, isn't it? And quite interesting psychology about, that's new. And then in the back of your mind, because it's there in the back of your mind, thinking, I love that. That looked great on my body shape. But, like a year, 2 years, 3 years ago, you were wearing that. We haven't realized that's what they have done in order to get you to follow and buy. And that's one of the reasons why I like watching trends and see how the fashion industry are working in order to get us to buy from them and to follow trends. Whether it's you're going to be making your own clothing or whether you're going to buy your own clothing. But they have been struggling. They have been extremely, extremely struggling in order to get us on board. I don't know whether it's because we are much more aware of what they are doing, or are there too many designers trying to sell to us? I personally think it's too many designers that are trying to sell to us. So therefore, there isn't really a particular trend that everybody wants to be on board, because everyone seems to be, even with fashion designers, everyone's following everybody else. And it's a case of, keeping your designs as secret as possible until the day you want to present it to the world. And then it will be a case of who will get there first. And with fast fashion, you've got to give it to them. You really have to give it to them. They really do get there first. They do. They are so quick on the ball to get that trend to us as quick as possible, within hours, I would say, of it being presented in whichever fashion show, whether it's Milan, Paris, London, New York. Yeah, that's how the fast fashion industry works. If they can get it to us at a faster rate, almost instantly, especially with the younger generation, then I think the fast fashion industry is going to be with us, unfortunately, for a while, which is in my opinion, and I'm sure as you're following me in your opinion, I'm assuming also that it's going to be with us for a while. But I think, for me personally, the fashion industry is not working hard enough to stop it, whatever their reasons are. But it's a trend also. It's a trend that they also follow because they're stealing their ideas, and then that trend is them allowing, or may not be, I have to be careful here before anybody, any lawyers or solicitors come after me. So it would be a case of they are almost like the news agent for the fashion industry, because they're getting their ideas out there through the fast fashion route. And that's been like that for some time. So the only edge, as far as fashion design trends are concerned, that they can get us on board is colour. Colour. So simple. But that colour is now a trend within the fashion industry. Does anybody know what this season's colour trend is? If you do, then please let me know in the comments if you know what this season colour trend is. Let me just put a question mark in here. Just want to know if anybody knows. I'll give you a moment or two to put something in there. It'll be interesting to know. I watch a lot of, it's only because I want to educate myself. Other people say I'm hooked, but I'm not. It really is a case of me educating myself. And also the young people tend to get information out there a lot quicker. So I tend to watch a lot of the younger people and how they interact with fashion and fashion trends. And once you find out how the trends are working, it's hard to come across the fact that that they're using colour in order to sell to us, particularly the bigger brands. So I've got Tasmin here. What I've learned is that there are colour trends, yes, but the number one that sells is black. You know what? That is so true. That the perception is black, but it's a colour that we are all kind of used to, and we're not ignoring, we're just accepting that black goes with everything. But in order for the fashion industry, to have a trend which isn't a garment, it is colour. It's no longer a garment, because there's so many different garments out there. And it's also a case now that there's so many different body shapes that are going down the runway. Not enough, in my opinion. That the only approach that they have now is to do with colour. So this season fashion trend isn't actually black, and it is, has anyone heard of, just let me know by yes or no in the comments, of Kelly Green? Kelly Green. What's getting me now, they're actually putting names to colours now. Kelly Green. So when I first saw this trend, it's like, okay, so there isn't at this present moment in time, and for some time, no particular trend when it comes to style. Yeah, you may hear that at the moment it's skinny jeans are out, and it's more full leg jeans or straight leg jeans. The balance is about the same. It really is. And you may hear about pops of different colours, such as orange and purples and reds. But Kelly Green is the new fashion trend, which isn't a garment. And I have been wearing Kelly Green for some time. I've got something to show you here. Here we go. Is this right? It's a bit more. Yeah, there's a bit more yellow tones into this than what you can see on camera, but this is what they call Kelly Green. But it is a bit more of a yellow tone to it. And I've had this jumper for about 3-4 years now, and because it's got a lot of holes in there, I don't wear it like this. I definitely wear it with a polo neck, a black polo neck underneath there. But it's interesting how they're using names in order to get us to buy trends. So I just thought I'd just show you that. And before I continue as well, because I forgot to mention this earlier on, is that I'm hoping you're going to be so proud of me at the moment. Because as you know, I've been trying to keep on top of my sewing projects. So I just want to show you the blouse that I showed you about 3 or 4 videos ago, maybe when I first started my live. Ta-da! It's almost done. There's a hem. Show the inside. So this is all hand sewn. How beautiful that is. So all I need now is to put buttons and buttonholes on there and put the collar on, and then that will be complete. As you know, the skirt is complete. And yeah, so I'm getting there. I really am getting there. The only thing is, and this happens all the time, that I have lots of buttons and I chose the buttons that I wanted for this, but the buttons do not want to go onto this. The reason why I'm saying that is I can't find the buttons. I just can't find them. I don't know where I've put the buttons. And there's such a gorgeous buttons as well that really go well with this. I've looked everywhere. I don't know. Maybe my cat's got it. I don't know. But yeah, I'm so proud of myself now. I'm getting there. Getting there. So I've got one more, and which is the red floral. So by the time the next live comes, that will be done. Yes. And then I've got to work on the bag as well, haven't I? Oh, okay. Yeah. But yes. So going back to colour trends or fashion trends, which is colour. It's no longer about style because anything goes. If you watch the fashion shows, no matter what country, there is a theme that they all seem to be following each other. So yeah, it's very interesting. So I'm going to have a look at a couple of your comments. It's quite a lot. Oh, thank you all very much for joining me. I really do appreciate the fact that, you know, you've given up your time to spend a little bit of time with me as I am learning how to use live on YouTube. And I'm going to continue doing this because I am enjoying it, and hopefully I will get a lot better at what I'm doing as well. So please do bear with me. So I really do appreciate that. Thank you. Let's see. D, yes, give. Right, D. I don't follow trends. So this is double D. Double D. Okay, sorry. I don't follow trends either. I still like flare trousers, even though it's not in the fashion so much these days. That is so nice. And it depends on the flare. And perhaps one of the reasons why that you love them and you still are wearing them is because it suits your body shape. And if it suits your body shape, stick with it. You know, don't let fashion kind of steer you away from it because they are making you feel as though that you're not fashionable because you're still wearing flares. Most people stick with a trend because it suits their body shape. That's interesting. Let's see. Indeed, very true. Not real dominant trends these days. Yes, yeah, that's very true. There isn't any real dominant trend really leading up to us. Tabassum says, I hope I'm pronouncing your name correctly. It seems like women everywhere started wearing leggings and a lot of men went into jeans and t-shirts, and I don't like that style trend. That's true. And that's got to do a lot more with the pandemic. And I think, if I'm correct in saying, they're calling it loungewear, and everybody jumped onto that because most people throughout the world were staying at home. So yeah, loungewear is a trend that you're now wearing on the streets. I've seen people in loungewear on the streets. I've seen people in nightwear on the street, but it is made to be worn on the street. Was I follow that trend if I was young? I don't know. Yeah, I probably would have. To tell you the truth. I think I was a lot more trendy when I was younger than I am now. I think. No, I'm still quite trendy now. Yeah. Got my own style, always have done. Oh, conversation. Oh, Tibetan and Double D are having conversations. Yes. Oh, yeah, you can talk to each other. Oh, please do. Yeah, that really would be helpful. Fascinating. In 2007, I never saw any women wearing leggings in public. Yeah, that is so true. You know, and I wish, oh, that is a pet peeve of mine. Sebastian, that is so, so true. And I wish that manufacturers would put warnings on leggings because they reveal too much. Young ladies, if you're out there, please don't, be careful. The demier of leggings, I don't know how many categories they are if they do it that way, categories. But go for the much more denser leggings because no, they yeah, and they're going to be with us for a long time, but some people shouldn't be wearing them. And I'm a person that I wish there's nothing you can do about it if you see someone in the street that's wearing leggings and you just think, oh my goodness, if I had my coat or whatever, I would give it to them and say, really, seriously, you shouldn't be wearing those. No, don't wear them. Or wear them, but wear the correct one for when you're going out in the street. I mean, once you're at home, you can always wear a thinner one. But yeah, that's one of my pet peeves. I don't like to see people in the correct demier of leggings. Let's see. I'm up to leggings, yeah. So D Lomas, I like to be an individual rather than follow what others do. Yes, that's the way forward. It really does. A lot of people, in my opinion, think that whatever they're wearing is not a fashion trend, but it suits them. They don't realize it suits them, and they think they have to be following a trend in order to feel comfortable in what they're wearing. No, that is the wrong approach. It really is the wrong approach. The fashion industry knows that, hence the reason fashion trends is not a particular style, even though they will mention it, they need to, because it's a game of psychology, but it is about colour. That's the only way. So you can get Kelly Green jumpers. I think when I first came across the term Kelly Green, it was bags. You see these influences with these, is it Balenciaga? Oh, I'm not sure what the designer is, but it's a bag that they come in, I think, 3 different sizes, and it has a weave and it's leather, and it has a knot in one end, and yeah, all the influences across the board had these Kelly Green bags, and I'm like, okay. So the fashion style is what then? Oh, it's the color green, Kelly Green. And then you see variations of different shades of green, and have to do that in order to, because not everyone's going to like that particular shade, or not everyone that particular shade suits. So all depends on, your shade of your color skin in order to get the right color. So it's across the board green, as long as it's not neon green, because that's not trendy. Even though the Kelly Green does have a bit of that within its color hue, but yeah, it's green across the board. That's what you should be wearing. So I kind of like that in a sense. I think I'm more likely to follow color than I am to follow a trend now. See, they've got me, they've got me on board. Because sometimes you just have to change it up, don't you? But I think for me, it's a reminder. Like I showed you my jumper, which is green, and I bought that at least 3 or 4 years ago. And it's like when I first came across and I saw the influencers, but I'm sure I've got a green jumper. I didn't know it was called Kelly, but I'm sure I got a green jumper. And at the time I bought it, I'm sure it wasn't called Kelly Green, hence the name Kelly Green. So making you associate with a name to a colour in order to tell you the colour rather than the style. and then there's different items. And you usually start with accessories such as handbags, to get you to think about it, and then they incorporate it into clothing. But it usually starts with accessories. Let's see. that seems. Sebastian says that seems like a backward ways of doing things. Isn't that just copying others? Yeah, it is. That's what a lot of people don't realize. Fashion designers copy each other. They have a signature style. They all have a signature style, but that signature style can only go so far, and then they start to copy each other, because fashion's been around and come around so many times. There's nothing new. The only way you will find something new in fashion is when it comes to textiles, and that's the fabrics. That's the only way forward for fashion to grow. I recently had a conversation with someone about a fabric called Tyvek, which I used a few years ago, which is fabric that it's gorgeous actually. It's made of paper, and it's kind of very smooth and easy to use, but it comes in different textures now, I believe. But back in the day, it was kind of a nice thing to do, and I experimented with making 1 or 2 items with it. But it's a case of now that for colour to work, we have to be copying, designs have to be copying each other within a colour theme, because they've all got their signature styles, such as Versace. Everyone knows that Versace is all about prints. But when was the last time that Versace did prints within the green shades, and Balenciaga and Dior? That's how they introduce colour to us. But in our minds, it's supposed to be about style or the shape, silhouette of the garment. But it's definitely about colour. Let's see. Yeah, black is definitely black will always be a very popular colour. What is happening now, though, going back to, and this is not about accessories, this is about beauty, is chocolate brown. Chocolate brown is a new black. So you feel a lot of people are wearing chocolate brown lipstick and chocolate brown nail polish, and that's the nearest colour. And it is, apart from grey, the nearest colour to black. So black is a new chocolate brown. Chocolate brown hasn't been around as a fashion trend for a very long time. It comes and goes. I do like brown actually. Does anybody like grey? You know, grey garments, grey outfits and stuff, because a lot of people don't like grey. I love grey. I think I probably got too much grey in my wardrobe, but I like wearing grey. Grey is a very nice colour. It's almost as though it's meant to be a bit of a what's the word? I'm trying not to sound Mancunian, to be a bit of a Norman, as we say up north. But yeah, it's a great colour. I love wearing grey. And let me go back to your questions. What I've learned is that, yeah. Green and white, yes. Green and white go well together. But white goes well with most colours, because it's a neutral colour, isn't it? Just like black. So it does go well together. But like I said, it really is about the season and about your fashion trend. And also, before I lose track, the way that I tend to find when I used to buy fabric, I don't buy fabric anymore. My mother would be so happy, because at one stage she actually thought I'd open up a fabric shop, because I used to buy fabric. It's like I was like a kid in a candy store. It's like, oh, I love that, I love that, I love that. Even though, come to think about it, my mum never. No, she never. Did she? No, she never stashed fabric. Can't ever remember my mum ever stashing fabric the way I do. That's why she was kind of surprised. Well, she wasn't surprised. She knew I'd end up being a fashion designer, but yeah. Yeah, but I haven't bought any in a couple of years. So yes. But I'm addicted to charity shops now. I blame my subscribers. No, I don't. I love you so much. No, I'm totally fascinated about what we are doing with clothing that we are not selling. And I'm kind of obsessed at the moment. I don't think I've ever seen myself obsessed about anything like that before. And I think it comes back to the fact that when I first went to fabric, see, I got fabric on the mind. No, I'm not going to buy. I'm not. When I first walked into a charity shop in order to buy garments, I was just totally and utterly perplexed with what I saw. It's garments with swing tickets on them, so so beautiful. It's just like, really, we are sending these to the landfill, and it's real. Some people have actually said no, it's not real. It's real. If you go into these shops, you can see that we are making garment in order to be thrown away. It's crazy. So let's see what else is there. Yeah, white. White is a good color, and you're very true. Very rarely people wear white, and it's because it gets dirty quite quickly. But I love white when it comes to summer. Oh, my sisters, particularly my young middle sister, would never wear white. But I love white, and it gets very dirty very quickly, and I do tend to have a spare garment. But yeah, white is gorgeous in summer, crisp white. Oh yeah, I will definitely wearing that this summer, for sure. Oh my! So Sebastian has heard of Kelly Green, yeah. Kelly Green giving us names to colours now. Do you think we will actually see Kelly Green on the streets or media? No, I don't think we'll see it on the streets. It's definitely in the media, because a lot of social media are onto it. So influencers are trying to sell it to us. I don't think, in particular, Kelly Green is selling as big, but I think the trend to buying green is because it almost gives us no choice. It's when you go to, for example, if you went to fabric shops, and this is one of the reasons why I used to always buy fabrics and stash them. Like I said, this trend has been going on for some time, is that they'll introduce a color of fabric, and if it's a color that I love, then I will buy lots of that, because I know in 2-3 years time you're not going to get that color fabric anymore. So hence the reason I'll buy it, and I know that in a couple of years time, if not next week, which wouldn't be the case, I would make something I'll make something out of it, which very rarely happened. So yeah, it's a case of that color is controlled by them, because they can't really control how we style our bodies anymore. Not as much. Maybe with the younger youths, absolutely. But from 25 plus, maybe 30 plus, we're tending to make our own minds up about what we're wanting to wear and how we want to style it. That's another thing, really, is that stylists, I should probably do a chat about that live. Do you think we will actually see Kelly Green in streets? And yes, well, that's that one. No, not necessarily on the streets, but definitely in the media, and definitely from influencers. Oh, thank you. And yes, it is in the color black. We are all comfortable in. We are so comfortable in black. So true. I don't think I've ever come across anybody who didn't like black. Actually, no. I had a fear of wearing black when I was younger, and it's so weird how people can do this. Is that there was a lady that lived around the corner from where we lived, and she always wore black. She never wore any other color. she always wore black from head to toe. And she had several black cats as well. And as you can think, as young children, because it's horrible to say actually, because it in a neighborhood it was like that, like she was the witch, and we associate black with witches and witch, and so we would never pass by her house because we were so scared. But she's just quite a friendly woman. She just didn't wear any other color other than black, and black cats are associated with witches, which I just hate because my cat is black. But yeah, I wouldn't wear black for a while, and also navy blue because that's the color of my school uniform. It took me years and years before I decided to wear the color blue. If you have school uniform, whatever color it was, put that in the chat. And also, did you continue wearing that color once you left school? Let's see. It'd be interesting to know that. So yeah, so mine was navy blue, and yeah, really for years I wouldn't wear navy blue. Wouldn't, but I love it. I would definitely wear it now. So yeah. Sabina, hi, how are you? Cautions for legging wearers. Right. I associate Sabina mentioned caution for legging wearers. Do not wear a pair that matches your skin tone. That is so true. I've seen it. Yeah, so true. Yeah, done a double take. I was like, seriously? And it's not, but it's like, no. So true. So that's correct. Demier, which I think is 15. It may go up to 20, I think. And I think the least is 7 Demier, I think. But yeah, definitely not skin tone. Yeah, I would agree with you, and I've actually seen that as well. And sometimes when you do tend to see it on younger women, and if I'm not mistaken, it tends to be younger women who don't really have that much time to think perhaps about their dress code because they tend to be mothers. Yeah, that's a good one, Samina. Yeah, thank you for that. Yeah, I have seen that. Yes. Someone else who likes Tabasum likes grey garments. Yes, like me. Yeah, I love grey. All right, so there's Samina. Yeah, some people like grey. Yeah, grey is a very, very elegant colour to wear. Yes, 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 elegance. Yes. Oh, double E. Yeah. Okay. Thank you. Yes. So everyone likes grey. Yeah. I always used to get a stickler for that, for wearing grey, because it's almost as though if you wear grey, you don't have any creativity. I don't get that. Why are you wearing grey? I thought you were a designer. I thought you were very creative. Excuse me? Isn't grey a colour? Why not wear grey? I don't get it. I really don't. I'm in a world of my own. I really am. Is stashing fabric a good habit or not a good habit? I stash because it gives me inspiration, but also feels like it's wrong to stash. And Sebastian, that is really a good point. And some people don't like you stashing fabric. Some people actually think it's wrong. I can't. Well, obviously, I can't say it's wrong because I've stashed fabric and I've got fabric that I've had for many years. Could I say I've got fabric that are probably about 10 years old? Yeah, quite easily, yes. My answer is yes to that question. Would I make it up? If I lived to my mother's age and my mother's 80, then yes, it will definitely get made up because I'm no longer buying fabric unless whatever it is I'm wearing is showing wear and tear. Now, I know I will be buying fabric next year, which will be black, as we're talking about black, and that is because my pants, as we all know, we tend to gravitate towards black all the time, don't we? Yeah, a couple of pairs of my black pants do need replacing, but I've worn them. They're well worn. I wouldn't give them to a fabric shop. They'll definitely be house cloths. But yeah, that's the only fabric that I'll buy, unless I've got fabric stash already, and I knew at the time of buying it that I wanted to go with something else. But that's the only time. I'm definitely on this path of refashioning clothing. We need to do it, because this shouldn't be happening. It simply should not be happening. We should not be going into charity shops and finding a garment that hasn't been worn. If it doesn't go into a fabric shop, it's going to end up in a landfill. It doesn't. It needs to stop. It really does. But that's a very good point that a lot of people. I don't think it's wrong, as long as you are wearing it, and if it gives you inspiration, absolutely. Because I would agree with you there. I'm not buying fabric because I don't want anybody else to have it. I'm buying fabric because it does give me inspiration. So when you go into fabric shops and you are surrounded with so much fabric and you gravitate towards one, the reason why you're gravitating towards one, because it's going to give you inspiration. It may not give you an inspiration there and then, but at some point it will do if you stash it. I'm just trying to get you on board for those of you that don't stash. But no, it's an individual choice, because my mother never did, and she would be an amazing children's wear designer, but I do. Yeah, is it a comfort thing as well? Perhaps as well. Yeah, but it's not wrong. So yeah, I'm with you. Yeah, I definitely do stash. I have stash, but I'm not saying I wouldn't do so in the future, but it's looking to be that way, because I do have quite a bit, and I do have quite a bit of clothing that I have refashioned. So I have to rethink my wardrobe, and the two things that I do, which is starting from scratch and also refashioning garments as well. So that is very interesting. Does anybody else feel as though that that they need to stash, or that it's wrong to stash fabric? Probably isn't wrong these days, especially as we are not only thinking about clothing going to landfill, fabric is as well. So it's probably, yeah, I feel a lot more comfortable now that I've got my fabric stash. Yes, they didn't end up in a landfill. Yvette, hello. In primary schools, we wore black, blue, and during high school, we had different PTAs. So colour got changed on a whim from mint green to light blue. Ooh, yeah. Yeah, we had navy blue was what we wore in autumn and winter, and then spring, summer, it was what do you call it again? Oh, we wore dresses. Gingham. Yeah, gingham. It was either pink or pale pink or pale blue gingham dresses made of nylon. Made of nylon. Are we talking about spring, summer? Nylon? Really? Yeah. If I'm not mistaken, I think my mum still got them. I think it's my pink one, actually. When I left school, in England, we have a tradition that when we left school, that everyone would write on your shirt or your dress or your garment, wishing you well and stuff on your next journey. Now that you're no longer in school and nobody's controlling your life. Yeah, so I think my mum still has mine, actually. I've still got my school tie. Yeah, many decades on, I still got my husband thinks it's so sad. But I still got my school tie. So I just hoard. I hoard anything and everything. I'm a magpie. I'm a human magpie, I think. But that's interesting. Does anybody else have a coloured school uniform that they wouldn't wear? I think for me, the worst school uniform colour that I've come across that I'd like, would cringe, is my cousins. Their school uniform was brown, and it wasn't a very attractive brown colour either. No. Brown. Oh. But brown, I do like brown. I do wear a lot of wear brown. It has to be the right tone, the right colour, the right shade of brown. So yeah. But yeah, it's interesting. It's interesting how colour has that effect on us, isn't it? And maybe that is a fashion trend or the fashion industry way of selling us a particular style through colour. So going back to colour and fashion trends, I can't say that. And as a person who's been watching a lot of YouTube videos along trends, I can't say to you right now of any particular trend that I know of. Bag trends, yes, because bag trends tend to be a way in for us to think about clothing and purchasing higher price garments, because bags and accessories tend to be at a lower price point, and that is a way of getting us into their what's the word? I can't remember what the word is. Getting us to be following them and their trends, and hopefully buy more bigger pieces, more expensive pieces, more quantities. So yeah, they start with accessories, and it is accessible to most people as well, even people with lower price, low budgets as well, because it could be a case of saving. But I have come across something quite interesting, which I'll just talk about for another 5 minutes or so before we go. Is that because of the pandemic, the fashion industry are rethinking everything when it comes to fashion, and they're making it more harder for people to purchase particular items. I'm not sure about clothing, but I'm sure it happens with clothing. But I definitely know it happens with accessories, because a lot of the influencers talk about accessories and the bags that they want. And like I said previously, that is an entry point into buying, garments that the industry are using accessories. So what's happening now is, and see if you agree with what I'm about to say, or if you've heard anything along these lines, is that now they're making people wait for a particular bag in a particular colour. So now the fashion industry have developed a very novel way of making sure their items stay very exclusive. So you go onto a waiting list, and you then have to wait for a particular size or colour of a bag before whatever number you say. Like, for instance, I'm number 10 on that list. The person who's at 129 usually are the people that will spend just that little bit more with them or buy from them, so they get that exclusivity first. So that's how fashion is now changing, and this is more so because of the pandemic more than anything. So you've got people now, and I just think it's so sad, who are making themselves not really ill, but not sleeping well at night. It's like, seriously, just wear a bag. I don't know if they're playing a dangerous game. It's not good. But I can understand the industry's approach and exclusivity. And obviously people with lots and lots of money, they want to have the items first because they have the money. And if they get an opportunity to wear it first and pose with it and show off, and then it goes to the next person on the list will then get the bag, and they keep the next person waiting. And so I just think it's so fascinating. I'm just learning so much right now of how the fashion industry are approaching how we are now going to be buying it in the future. And the approach is that a lot of influencers or people with money or people who follow these brands faithfully a little bit, I'm going to say peed off, I think. Or can I say that? That's a very English term, I think. are kind of like really upset about the fact that they have to be put on a waiting list. And if the thing is that it's a very clever approach, but there's one sticking point that I think they may be struggling with, is that people who actually are at the top of the list are flipping. Now, I didn't really hear the term flipping, and I think it's very much an American terminology. So they buy it first and then they flip. So when they're flipping, they are selling it on at a more higher price point. And people who are desperate for these bags is what they're relying on in order to buy from them, so they can wear it first before it goes to the next person on the list. So it's a new trend. So they will be watching, they will be paying attention. But yeah, I think the flipping part of that particular business model may be something that they need to work on. But that's quite interesting. Yeah, it's quite interesting to watch that. And also, I've got time. Yeah, I've got another 5 minutes. I'll mention this next time. Is that recently I've just come across the fact that some designers, I think it's more, perhaps not independent designers, are treading on the toes of us as refashioners. Is that a word? I hope it is. Refashioning clothing. They're given the impression, and there are designers out there that do refashion clothing. They are, you know, they will literally take a garment totally apart and then refashion it and reposition it and come up with different shapes. At one point, I'll get to that because I am so fascinated with that. But I'm at the beginning stages with my channel, showing you what you can do now with the garment. But it's fascinating how the fashion industry are now selling us garments that looks as though it's being refashioned. Yeah. Go away. Leave us alone. We love refashioning clothing that's already out there. So yes, they are doing that too. See, I got my eye on them. I got my eye on the fashion industry. Right, so I'm going to read a few more comments here. I've got a couple more comments I'm just going to read out. It seems to be a trend in everything, like Amazon. Everything went to Prime and then membership, etc. Exclusivity for the wealthy. Yes. Yes, Tabasum is just yeah. Amazon is Prime. Yeah. I hope I'm not sounding as though I'm moaning. Am I? I'm not. Someone's got to say it, so I'm saying it. But it's true, yeah. It's a very good point with Amazon. Oh, yeah. Yeah, right. Just bear with me. I'm just kind of hyper at the moment. Like I said, I love doing my lives and I will continue doing this. I'm so excited, but it's you guys that are making me so excited. Is that a lot of influencers now, and this is probably the fashion industry who are panicking a little bit, are doing an Amazon drop. It's probably with other products as well, and where they will do a fashion line. You know, I don't know, choose about 10 garments that they've designed. Just saying, yeah, they designed. That they have designed and put together, and they will sell it onto their subscribers. Now, I know I just gave it a little like, look, this reminds me of my mother when I do that. But you know what? You've got to give them credit. So there's a drop for so many hours for you to purchase a particular garment from a particular influencer. That is a good business model, because once everything is sold, nothing else is made. So they actually made to order. So Amazon actually has something there, and I probably need to research this a little bit further. So I like that, and I don't know whether the fashion industry may adopt that. Do I think they need to? Absolutely. If we're going to sort out this problem and issue with too many clothing that we have on the planet right now, But yeah, that's interesting. You really reminded me about Amazon. Thank you. Just mentioned that. No, I'm not moaning. Thank you for your support. Someone's got to say it though, isn't it? Is that I think, you know, Amazon, their business model, they do have many issues and many problems, and yeah, it's quite evident from what I see from other YouTubers. And what's quite interesting is the fact that it's real, because you see them put spy cameras on their bodies and going into these places. So you're hoping that it's true stories that they're actually telling. But yeah, I think it's a way forward that we need to be thinking about clothing in the sense of made to order, and in time, because I think people think that clothing made to order is expensive. It is, and it isn't, and it depends on fabrics, design, quality, the way it's been sewn. But when you think about how many clothing we actually do wear, it's a model I think we should go back to, personally. I really do. Yeah. I think because when you think about it, fashion has become so thrown away that I would hate if I had a collection out there and I put it out there, the hours that I went into researching and getting my sketchbook and doing designs and researching a certain theme in order to come up with these amazing ideas, and spend hours and weeks on this. And I did a collection and it looks amazing. It's probably one of my best ones in like 2 or 3 years, or since my last successful collection. And then someone just wears it for a day. Okay, right. Back to the drawing board. It will come back on the industry. We can't keep doing this, like literally 52 seasons in a year. No. Anyway, thank you all so much. I really do appreciate you joining me. And I know it's a long time, and as you can see, my voice is going a little bit, so I am going to have a cup of tea and have something to eat. And I want to thank you all very much. And like I said, I'm going to keep on top of doing these lives. And the next live, I'm going to put this in the... See, I'm getting on top of this now. I'm getting used to this. I'm going to put... The next live is going to be... Have I got that right? Yes. The 16th of November, 5:30 London time. GMT means Greenwich Mean Time, for those of you that don't know. So yes, thank you all very much for joining me, and do keep on refashioning, and do keep on making your own clothing. It's the way forward. We all love fashion, hence the reason that we're here. And I'll always come back and try and stick on topic. I will try and stick on topic. I think I did well this time. Last time, I don't think I did that well. I think I was literally all over the place, but I managed to come back and mention things. And I think it's just because I'm so passionate and I've got so much to say. And maybe I should do a live every day. I think that may happen one day, but not just now. So thank you all very much, and I wish you all the best. If it's in the morning, have a nice day. If it's in the afternoon, I hope you've enjoyed your day so far. Enjoy the rest of the day. And if it's good evening, then I hope you all are enjoying YouTube or watching TV. And bye. See you all soon.